1, 2, 3. We gon' start this up right. Figure it out. We gon' figure it out. Figure it out. We gon' figure it out. Figure it out right now. Figure it out. Figure it out. We gon' figure it out. Figure it out. We gon' figure it out right now. Figure it out. We gon' figure it out now.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? I've always wanted to do that, like I'm coming out of a backstage or coming out to perform. Yeah, what's up, everybody? My name is Dalton Smith, and welcome to the Figure It Out podcast. You're looking to my journey into the world of tech. I'm a music producer and audio engineer. I'm now learning how to code, and I'm now learning how to develop applications, websites, different things. And I wanted to bring everybody along with me on the journey. I'm not a podcaster. I'm not a reporter. I really don't know how to do all of this, but I'm going to put it all together and figure it out, right? It's really important to me to make sure I document my journey so not only can I keep track of all of the things that I'm doing, but I can focus on developing and growing along the way. And we can build this community, have some fun at the same time, and, talk about some cool stuff. Hey, bear with me. I'm going to have to become a eloquent speaker on this whole thing, but I got to keep it halfway real. I know some people are saying, what gives you the audacity or what makes you think you can do something this big? It's a very, very big task. But I believe in myself, simply. That's really just it. I got the confidence and, a little bit of the brain power to do. And whatever brain power I don't have, I'll develop. I think that's 90% of what keeps us from following any dream or any goal that we want to start. Just self-confidence. And even if we don't got all of it, fake it. Fake it till you make it. Or like Eddie Murphy said on Dreamgirls, fake your way to the top. Round and around, fake your way to the top, round and around. Oh shit, I knew you had. Let's get started. I'm getting sidetracked. Today is episode 0. WTF is the Figure It Out show. And we have 3 sections to the podcast. First is the homepage, where we'll talk about new tech stories, review new products, and highlight upcoming releases. And next is the upload, where we'll discuss new subjects that I'm learning, along with other info that we need to know. And last is the download, which it's just that new movies, new music that is out, what I'm listening to, different entertainment content, and we'll just continue the conversation from there. Remember, you can join in at the FIO Show on Twitter, IG, SoundCloud, wherever you'd like to comment, and the FIOshow.com. Sign up for giveaways and other content. And be sure to subscribe. That's the only way that we're going to grow this community, to include all of the people that are interested in tech, interested in learning how to code, or just want to be down, just be around. It's all right. Okay, and now we're going to start off with the homepage, which in today's episode is going to include the 5 biggest stories in tech from 2017. First, I want to talk about fake news. Okay, I know we're all either one way or the other when it comes to the new president. Well, he's been in office for a year now. There was an assertion that now other countries are coming in and putting news stories by using tech bots, by using different fake reporters, fake profiles, and fake systems to report fake stories. This is a whole new category, and it's so official now that it seems like it's always been around. Of course, we've always known spoofed stories and different things that are just parodies and meant not to be right. Now we're seeing an increase in actual stories that are being believed as true, reported on the actual mainstream news, used to influence people's decision and decision-making, even all the way to voting. That's major. And now that we're in a place where technology is the leading influence in pretty much everything, from the media to voting to our money to things that we, buy, spend, it's important for us to keep track of the sources of our information. If it's not a reputable source, check it out. Look into it, form your own opinion, get your own information. And if it sounds like something that needs to be questioned, question it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's like part of the scientific process. We're supposed to question everything. So yeah, that's kind of fake news in a nutshell. 2017 was a crazy year for fake news, but hey, what can we do? And it's not just an American thing. It's all over the globe. France is having an issue. Germany, Italy, all of these countries have some sort of issue with fake news or different things that are influencing people's opinions that just aren't correct. So now more than ever, think for yourself. Form your own opinion. Support that with actual valid sourced information. Think. So that's number one, fake news. That was a big story in 2017. What's next? Let's see. Bitcoin. Oh yeah, Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a huge year, actually a huge fourth quarter in 2017, along with other digital currencies or cryptocurrencies. And most people still don't really know what it is. Bitcoin's a form of digital currency. It's created and held electronically. No one controls it. Bitcoins aren't printed. It's not like a dollar, but they're produced by people inside of a mining system, really deep computer technology using software and mathematical problems. It's different from normal currencies because it's decentralized, which means there isn't a main bank that's handling all of these transactions. It sounds scary, but if we think about how our debit cards are money in a digital form, and that's kind of the precursor to just a completely digital currency, which we hold it in our online wallets, or you want to look into having an actual hardware wallet if you're really into cryptocurrency. But yeah, take some look into Bitcoins and other digital currencies. Do some research. It definitely had a huge 2017. All right, number 3, Amazon. Just as a staff, a crew, and an MFing label, Amazon had a hell of a 2017. Reports said that about 44% of the U.S.'s e-commerce sales are just directly with Amazon already. That's crazy, right? Think about eBay is only about 7%, Apple's about 4%, Walmart's at about 4% also, but Amazon has a whopping 44% of the commerce. But maybe time to look into some Amazon stock if you haven't already. Amazon recently announced its plans to build a second headquarters for about $5 billion, and they're allowing different cities across the country to bid for that city to be its headquarters, which naturally will increase the economy of that city, state, and so on. So that's a really, really good way to help the country's economy, to help the things that are going on. I'm really excited about that. They bought Whole Foods for $13 billion. They bought a percentage in Nike, so their sales rose 25% last year. I know we really don't care about sales and things like that, but just as a tech company, we have to know that they are a leader. They aren't going anywhere. So if you're not down with Amazon yet, you might want to get into it. Okay, number 4, the iPhone X. Apple had a pretty good year in 2017. They announced their new flagship phone, the iPhone X, which skipped right past 9, but it's a 10-year anniversary of the iPhone, so that's what it signifies. And it introduced a lot of new features, which kind of frustrated a lot of people, but there's no more home button. The full screen is all glass. There's new technology that recognizes your face with Apple, so Face ID is new. And the Animoji feature was a new thing that a lot of people are liking to use. But it doubled in price. It went from about $600-700 retail to about $1,100 to $1,300 for different iPhone X models. So that's a very, very big jump. Okay, so let's see. What are some other features that were pretty big in the iPhone X that a lot of users noticed? They noticed a lot of issues, how easy it was to crack. You got to have a case on it. Quite honestly, I haven't gotten one yet. I still need a home button. I actually still need headphone jacks, but we'll talk about that on a different day. Another story that had a big 2017, and it'll wrap up our 5 tech stories that capped off 2017, is augmented reality. It's a technology that layers computer-generated enhancements or images on top of existing reality images in order to make it more meaningful. That's a fancy way of saying putting pictures in shit. Currently, that's where we're using it. A lot of different stores have ways for you to customize not only the furniture that you put in your home by taking a picture of your living room, or different companies that make glasses are able to either take a picture of your face or your room and put one of their products in there or on your face so you'll see how it looks. It's a really cool, useful thing. And actually, it'll develop more into designing layouts for different blueprints, building architecture, designing 3D models before you actually produce it. Really interesting things that can be done with augmented reality. It's a step away from virtual reality, which is a completely generated environment. Mixing both a little bit of reality with some of the virtual reality, that's where we get augmented reality. So yeah, those are the top 5 stories of 2017 that made a big impact. If you have any other stories, go ahead and leave them in the comments. Send us a message at the FIO Show, and we'll talk about it. Okay, now let's move on to the upload. This is where in the future we'll discuss new things that I'm doing, that I'm learning, and really dig into my process on becoming a dope coder, the best, the king of the world. No, well, not the king of the world, but a great influence and a great force. I'm calling this new thing tech entrepreneurialism, which is a tech entrepreneur, right? Techtrepreneur. We got to call it something, but in technology and entrepreneurialism, I want to be a leading force to represent for me and my people and this community. So let's take it to the top. But this week, I'm just going to slow it down a little bit and tell everybody a little bit about myself, my background, and what made me decide to jump into this crazy world of technology. So once again, my name is Dalton Smith. Everyone calls me Smitty here in Atlanta just because of my music production background. I've always been around computers, in front of computers, especially when I started learning how to produce music. Most of the music production equipment was actual equipment, hardware, keyboards, mixing boards, all sorts of recording devices. And a great company named DigiDesign was created. About the early 2000s, they started taking over with so much software and digital technology to record, produce, and arrange music that was previously done on hardware. So as a young man, I actually had an interest in all of this software along with the hardware. I learned as much of it as I could just by being around it. I researched it, read different things, and became a pretty good producer and audio engineer. So I was able to learn software at the same time that I was learning the hardware, and it made my interest in computers just double. So fast forward to now and looking for the next steps in my career, not just in music, but in my personal development and the things I want to see from my next steps that I'm passionate about, right? You got to do things that you're passionate about and that you love and that you want to grow in and you don't mind doing all day and all night. And I noticed that I would like to either develop artwork or try to edit videos for people. I don't know anything about editing videos, but I want to create. Part of being a producer is just taking ideas and making them into something that's nice and that people will enjoy. So in being a producer and in being an audio engineer, loving all the technical elements of recording, mixing, and I landed on having the great, big, crazy idea to start learning how to code, mainly applications, but in order to code apps, you have to learn all of the, general languages that go into the world of development. Made a curriculum for myself to learn, starting with some computer science basics, moving on to some coding languages, then going into some real world applications as far as developing some ideas. I want you all to come along with me on the journey. I want to make a community of people that see me bump my head, mess up, and make mistakes along the way. I'm not ashamed. That's part of the way that we learn is to make mistakes. I'm not a reporter or a host, but I'm going to do this show and By next week, I'm sure my voice will get a little bit better. The week after that, it'll get a little bit better than that. And hey, you got to start somewhere, right? And we're going to figure it out. That's the reason for the show, hence the title. So yeah, that's me, Dalton Smith, Smitty. I am excited for this journey. I'm really excited more than anything. I'm nervous. Really, this show wasn't even supposed to be me by myself. I wanted to have at least a 2 or 3 person team and then, grow with the show, be able to bounce ideas off of other people. During our production time, getting the show together, we met a few people, some good talent. We just weren't able to bring everything together before January 2018. And with me, I'm about progress. I want to get started somewhere. And if we do need to add things along the way, take things away, then we'll do it. So yeah, that was the upload, a brief description of me, where I came from, where I want to go. And let's take a break. All right, we're back, and now it's time for the download. And the download is where we're going to talk about new releases, whether it's movies or music, even different apps and cool products. We'll talk about it all. I want to start first this week with the Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi. I went and saw it a few days ago, and it was a great movie. I mean, I thought it would be a completely new story. It's moving into the future. And what's up with all of the future-based movies looking like it's set in an ancient past? I noticed that. It's almost 2020, right? And you would expect a lot of the movies to be based in this virtual, futuristic atmosphere, but it looks like a lot of the creatives think that the future is going to be a barren, crazy, depleted wasteland. I know we're running through our resources, but am I going off on a tangent? Okay, yeah, but Star Wars included all of the great characters from the original trilogy that are still alive. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it was really interesting how they incorporated Carrie Fisher and her character Princess Leia through the whole movie. I thought they were going to pay homage to her and her passing initially, but it really was a good memoriam through the whole movie of all of the characters kind of, in their interaction with her. Even the new characters having a time where they show their respect, and it was all commemorated really well. Everything was intertwined to the older story, the new story, and even setting up a future story for new Jedis. The Last Jedi is kind of a teaser. It makes you think that there will be no more Jedis, but it's just rebirthing in a new way. It was really cool, man. I don't have a scale or anything, but I just say it's really dope. You got really dope, okay, and not that okay. I just made that up on the spot. So if you get a chance to check out the Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi, you won't be disappointed. It's definitely a good watch. And next, let's move on to some music. I want to open my Apple Music and see exactly what music I'm listening to the most lately. Apple does a cool little feature with heavy rotation. And first thing that pops up there is the N.E.R.D album, the new N.E.R.D album. That's pretty applicable since this is a tech podcast. We're techies. A lot of people consider that kind of nerdish, but ironically, the way Pharrell, who is one of the coolest producers, one of the coolest fashion guys out there, used the word nerd, repurposed it, and really represents a lot of the quote-unquote nerds of 2018 were some of the coolest people out here. And that's one of the major things that I want to bring to the forefront of the technology industry. We all know the single, or a lot of people may know the single, Lemon with Rihanna. It's playing everywhere. I can't play it right now without trying to get caught. And yep, they have the single 1000 with Future, a couple joints with Kendrick Lamar, even one rolling them sevens with Andre 3000. If you can bring Andre 3000 out of his castle in New Zealand somewhere, then you have a great album. So yeah, check out the N.E.R.D album if you haven't heard it already. No one ever really dies. That's what N.E.R.D means, if you don't know. So that's one of the main albums that's in my heavy rotation. What are you listening to? Drop down in the comments or send us a message at the FIO Show. Let me know what you're listening to, what you're watching, and we'll talk about it. Oh, yeah, I'm listening to a lot of Kendrick Lamar, too. The Damn album, definitely killed all of 2017. It was a very, very big album. He's nominated for several Grammys, so good luck to him. And he is producing, writing, and arranging all of the music for the soundtrack of the Black Panther movie that's coming out. I'm really excited about that, coming in February. And Kendrick just performed at the college football championship, the playoff championship, where there hasn't been a halftime performance before. He came out and shut it down. It was here in Atlanta. I wasn't there, but I definitely had a great view of it from the warmth of my home. It's been crazy cold here. Crazy cold. I don't know what's going on. We need some technology to figure out exactly how to shift the global warming back up or down, back to the right time. I don't know, but it's cold as hell right now. Tangent, another tangent. I'll get better with that as time goes on. The last thing I actually wanted to talk about, it's not really a download section, but it's something that definitely applies to music and the music industry. Have you noticed how a lot of artists are releasing a lot more music than before? You might see artists like Drake or Future drop multiple albums in a year, or artists like Chris Brown, who just released his Heartbreak on a Full Moon album, which had like 46 tracks on it. Then he turned around and re-released it for the holidays with the extra 12 tracks on it. Are these artists just being extra creative and want to give their fans so much more music? I wish that was it. I really do, but it looks like they're taking advantage of a lot of the streaming laws that allow streaming to be counted as sales almost. Each listen or download of that track would allow that project to be recognized or rewarded with different awards of, like selling platinum or being on the Billboard charts, which definitely is a smart use of their technology or them using technology to their advantage. Before, you would only be able to use traditional sales from different stores, whether it's Best Buy or a mom and pop record shop. Now, all of the different on-demand streaming services like Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, Pandora, SoundCloud, all of these on-demand music services are allowing fans of the artist to download, stream the music, let them play all day and night, and they get credit for it. Hey, more power to people using technology to empower them in their career. Anything that ensures your success, use those resources to your advantage and make sure you win. That's really what it's all about. So that's going to bring the download to a close and actually bring today's episode to a close. Ah, man, I made it. I've been so excited to bring this content to you. It's just a start. I didn't want to do too much in this episode, but hopefully you'll grow with me. I'm going to continue to grow, get better. Make sure you subscribe on SoundCloud at the FIO Show. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the FIO Show. And check out the website at thefioshow.com. One of my favorite quotes is, you're going to get nowhere if you don't start somewhere. And I'm starting this technology journey here. I'm going to become a great coder, but I have to figure it out along the way. So thanks for listening. Peace, y'all.